Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFXTV. I'm the WrestleGamer, Double People and Boudreaux, fresh off the Monday Night Raw show from last night at the Cajun Dome. You guys can see I'm sporting some new merch. Love this hat. I got the Roman Reigns t-shirt, I got a Sheamus pendant, and I'm ready to talk about Monday Night Raw from last night. Now, before I go any further, I want to say this. There are a lot of members, in the YWC that some of them I do listen to. When it comes to their opinions of Monday Night Raw, there's some people who think if they cuss like a sailor, it helps get their point across. And saying, well, Raw was F this, F, 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 F. I'm like, after 30 seconds of hearing nothing but the F word, every other, being the every other word that this person says, I turned it off because I can't stand that. That's not a review. That's just a person cussing on YouTube just to get views. That's not a review. That's not a sign of intelligence. That's just a sign of someone saying, oh, if I cuss like this, if I cuss like I'm the wrestling Jesus, I'm going to get thousands and thousands of views, and that's just not going to happen. No, I'm going to tell you this right here on WGS-TV, it's not going to happen. Now, one or two times it may slip out of my mouth, but it's not going to be every other word, and it's like in some other people. But anyway, let's start off Monday Night Raw. Paul Heyman, the whole thing with Paul Heyman and John Cena. John Cena saying that he doesn't trust Paul Heyman. Was I the only one to catch what John Cena said in his promo? I don't know if anybody else caught this, but if you think back to what he said he gave 7 days ago, he gave Paul Heyman 24 hours to produce Brock Lesnar. Anybody else catch what was wrong in that statement? Now, would it have been more appropriate for him to say 7 days ago he gave Paul Heyman 1 week to produce the Brock Lesnar? To me, the way it sounded, it just didn't sound right. But anyway, he as far as this promo goes, he gives Paul Heyman until halftime in the show to produce Brock Lesnar, or else it would be him and Heyman that would be fighting, and he kind of makes sure of it by grabbing Paul Heyman in a headlock and then putting him in a room and the Great Khali as guard. I thought that was funny, to be honest. I thought it was hilarious. And a lot of people think, oh, it's kind of bullyish of John Cena to do that, but Paul Heyman's just got the face you want to punch, It's no disrespect to Mr. Heyman, but it's just the kind of face he's got. Chris Jericho and Corporate Kane. I don't understand the point of the match. Some people are saying it was just to make Jericho look good for Night of Champions, which it did. At some point in the match, Kane removed the top turnbuckle, and also at one point in the match, the referee saw something that apparently warranted him putting on gloves, protective gloves on his hands, and I couldn't tell exactly what he saw that warranted the usage of gloves, but there's an old adage, better safe than sorry. But that's what the referee did there. But the removing of the top turnbuckle comes back to bite Kane in the rear end as Jericho drove Kane into that exposed turnbuckle and rolled him up for the victory. Up next, we had Jack Swagger and Bo Dallas. Not a bad match. Would have thought to have heard a promo or two from either one of them before the match started. Didn't really hear that. Swagger locks on the Patriot lock on Bo Dallas, so it just wasn't enough to Bo leave last night for poor old Bo as he had to tap out. Up next, we had Paige and Nikki Bella taking on AJ Lee and Brie Bella. This wasn't really a tag team match. This was basically Paige and Brie Bella, and it came down to Paige with the Ram-Paige. You know, Brie was going for the tag for AJ, but Nikki came up from behind AJ and then knocked her off the ring apron, and then it was just Paige with that Ram-Paige. And then, of course, after the match was over, Nikki got in that backbreaker finisher that she has to stick it to Brie even more. And then next, we just see Paige and AJ Lee skipping. Now, one thing I will say this, unlike in some other arenas, there weren't that many chants for CM Punk, the quitter in the WWE, the man who decided to take his ball and go home and forget about the company that made him famous. You can kind of tell how, I used to have respect for CM Punk, but now I have nothing but disdain for CM Punk. Up next, apparently to follow up what happened on Friday Night SmackDown during that 6-man tag, we had a Big Show taking on Bray Wyatt. I kind of halfway expected to see the interference from Rowan and Harper, but the way they finished that off, a double chokeslam by Big Show to both Rowan and Harper, I'm like, wow. I mean, you would see that maybe with two smaller guys, but Rowan and Harper, they're about close to 300 pounds each, and Big Show just made it look easy. 6-man tag action, the Usos and Sheamus, Sheamus Pendant, taking on Cesaro in Gold and Stardust. Okay, I don't know why I decided to go back on YouTube last night when I got home and look at some of the matches to hear on commentary. For God's sakes, Michael Cole, know your gimmicks! Seriously! You're blowing it! Yeah, we know it's Cody Rhodes. Okay, but the gimmick is Stardust. It's a different person. And he's saying Cody Rhodes. Then by all rights and purposes, Michael Cole should be calling Goldust Dustin Runnels. Or Dustin Rhodes. Golly, whoever's in that gorilla position needs to fucking wake up. Because that's ridiculous. That's one of the things with me being a commentator that I come down on hard. Is the fact when commentary sucks, it really brings down the show. Now, good point for me. I was there live, so I didn't have to listen to the awful commentary. Because commentary in WWE has not been good. Except for Tom Phillips. That's a different story. But it's just been terrible. Really been awful. And I really don't know what else I can say or do. I was halfway expected to bring in some of my business cards for WGS-TV to hand out to fans. You say, if you want to listen to a real good commentary, you come here. But, I misplaced them, so I couldn't do that. But anyway, it came down to the Usos taking it to Cesaro with the Samoan splash. I couldn't tell you if it was Jimmy or Jay because they're twins. It's hard to tell the difference. Following that, Usos and Sheamus got the win. Hello, Sheamus Pendant. Up next, John Cena was calling out Paul Heyman, saying it was time, and Paul Heyman, started saying, this is the John Cena we wanted to bring out of you, and whatnot, and which, of course, Cena then backs off and saying, that he's not worth the dirt off his hands. Paul Heyman said, what, if I was your mother, I'd be proud of you if I had a son born with testicles. Then, of course, John Cena knocks the Walrus on his butt, which then brings out Brock Lesnar so that they can have the big clash. And it looked like at first that Lesnar was going to get the advantage over Cena once again with a German suplex, like we saw 16 times at SummerSlam, in which some other people think that was cool to see a move spanned over and 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 over again. But Cena then pops up, and then they have a brawl on the outside, in which security had to break up the both of them. Now, there are people in the IWC who are saying that Brock Lesnar's nose was broken, that Brock Lesnar was knocked out. I can contradict the knocked out thing. Brock Lesnar walked out on his own. How was he knocked out? I really don't understand how you can put that in the title of your video saying Lesnar was knocked out. I don't know. Now, as far as the broken nose thing goes, I would not be surprised to see if that was actually legit, considering the fact that when Lesnar came back after WrestleMania 28, and they had that, I think it was the week after WrestleMania 28 when they had that big brawl between Lesnar and Cena, where Lesnar, I think it was either the lip or the nose that Lesnar broke on Cena. I would not be surprised if that was done in retaliation to what happened a couple of years ago. You never know. But yeah, that's pretty much how they left it on that. Up next, Naomi and Karen. Why in the world was this happening? Why? I can tell you this, though, since they probably didn't show it on TV, I'm going to spoil it anyway. WWE kind of effed up the entrance of Karen halfway, when she was halfway down the ramp trying to get into the ring. Her Stephanie McMahon's music cues up, and then they quickly change it back to Karen, because, you know, as I was posting it on the Facebook page before my phone died, you know, I was posting up, you know, Naomi versus Cameron. Why? Then next thing you know, I hear Stephanie McMahon's music, and I look up, and then next thing you know, I'm halfway expecting to see Stephanie McMahon come out. Didn't happen. And then they went back to Cameron's music, so I don't know what was the point of that. Naomi got locked in her unique submission hold. I forget the name of it, but she locked that on Cameron, and who was just like she was ready to go to Catholic school. I have no idea why. But this was just basically a shameless, useless plug for Total Divas. You know, they may have 3 million viewers for Total Divas, but I am not one of them. Up next, a rematch from Friday Night SmackDown, Dolph Ziggler and R. Ziggler taking on The Miz and Damien Mizdow. And there's some things I'm not comfortable seeing, and you know, it just looks a little weird, you know, for people who are supposed to have their own gimmicks in WWE, like R-Truth and Damien Sandow, to basically almost have their characters killed off with these new gimmicks of Damien Mizdow and R. Ziggler. Now, I don't know how long they're going to run with R. Ziggler. I think basically probably just for the duration of the feud between Ziggler and Miz over the Intercontinental Championship. But it ended up with Ziggler hitting the zigzag on Miz on the go-home show to pick up the win. And traditional, again, I've said it time and time out, traditional wrestling logic dictates that whenever a person goes over on the go-home show, then 9 times out of 10, they're not going to go over on the pay-per-view. And then, speaking of the pay-per-view, you know, before they had the matchup with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, which, by the way, it's already been booked on Night of Champions. So, why are they having their one-on-one match on the go-home show if they're still going to advertise it for Night of Champions? I don't understand that. But anyway, Seth Rollins cut what I thought was kind of a weird promo on Roman Reigns before the matchup started. You know, backstage talking to Tom Phillips, and kind of called him, Roman Reigns, like part rhinoceros, gorilla, and then he even imitated it. He even imitated the Neanderthal thing, the gorilla thing. And I thought, okay, why did it take Seth Rollins from looking actually legit to making him look like a damn fool? I mean, I thought that was just really ridiculous to see something like that. But they kind of make up for it in an amazing match between the two. Now, I'm not going to say anything bad about it because it was indeed, in fact, a really amazing match with Reigns and Seth Rollins, which came down to Rollins' attempt for a curb stomp, which was countered into the spear by Roman Reigns, who, coincidentally, my twin sister was there. She was lined up to get some concessions before the main event started, and she actually bumped into Roman Reigns at in that particular area of the Cajun Dome as he was set to make his entrance. So that's why I got the shirt. But like I said, you know, they have the match on the Go Home show. So, and they're still going to advertise it for Night of Champions. And as good as the match was on Monday Night Raw, for them to advertise it on the pay-per-view, they have to really step it up and take their match that they did, which was really awesome on Monday Night Raw, up another level for the pay-per-view. That's all I can say about that. And then next we finish off Monday Night Raw with the Rally America by Mark Henry, you know, to rally everyone, and then Rusev and Lana come out to put a damper on everything, you know, do the heel stuff, and then Mark Henry was going to do the pledge of allegiance, you know, and cameras didn't show it, but they actually had the words up on the screen from Mark Henry, and I would think more for the benefit of the fans out there, so they could read along with them and do the pledge of allegiance. But halfway through it, Rusev comes in and attacks Henry and then does a kick in the face and then attempts to put Henry in the accolade. And Mark Henry fights out of it and then does his version of the Tensai bomb. Because a lot of fans are saying that, you know, it was just... they even said it on WWE's YouTube channel. It was Mark Henry doing Tensai's finisher. And... which was, you know, basically the A-Train bomb, but the derailleur. But now there was a dark match after Raw went over. It was a 6-man tag. It was Mark Henry, Big Show, and John Cena taking on the Wyatt family. Now, with my current vehicle issues, I was unable to stay to watch this dark match because I had someone waiting on me. But we got to figure that the faces went over on the Wyatt family. That's all I'm going to say about that. Overall score on Monday Night Raw, the Go Home show, I was decently entertained. I thought it was a good show, despite some points where it just literally didn't make any sense. I'm going to go 3.75 out of 5 for Monday Night Raw. You know, I know that's a little higher than usual for yours truly, but the fact of the matter is I didn't have to listen to commentary. Now, why did I go back on YouTube to see and listen to some of it? Morbid curiosity. Best match of the night has got to go to Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. They put on a hell of a match for Monday Night Raw. I really thought it was decent. Worst match of the night, Naomi and Cameron. That was an utter shitstorm. That was just completely embarrassing. It was terrible. If Cameron wants to go back to NXT in a promo, then by all means shove her back down there because she sucks. You know, that's all I'm going to say about that. So. I'm also going to throw out an honorable mention to the John Cena Brock Lesnar brawl. I thought it was decent. It really got the fans into it. You know, a lot of fans are always saying out there, oh, they pipe in the cheers for John Cena. Not last night. I'm going to tell you that for a fact. So that's been my thoughts on Monday Night Raw, guys and gals. What I want to know from you guys out there, yes, you guys, the viewers and subscribers of WGS-TV, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? I definitely want to know what you guys have to say, especially leading into Night of Champions. Definitely want to know what you guys think. Be sure you put your comments in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video, and don't forget to follow me on the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV. And don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network if you haven't already. So with that being said, I'm the WrestleGamer, Double B Billy Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.